And I spoke with Amare Stoudamire before the game, and I asked him if the Suns lose tonight, will he view this series as tainted because of his controversial suspension in Game 5? He smiled and said, quote, to an extent. Then he just stopped talking and kept smiling. He knows, Mike, he's crucial to his team. He knows he has to play aggressively on offense, but he said on defense, he's got to temper that aggression, play smart, and stay out of foul trouble. Mike?
Well, Stoudamire has led the team in the playoffs in scoring, in rebounding, and in blocked shots. And, John, when he's been on the floor, he has been virtually unstoppable. They just need him to stay on the court.
Absolutely. Game 3, 21 minutes, 21 points. He's the guy that can finish the game for the Suns on the offensive end.
And 11 seconds in, we have our first whistle. Good experience.
Oh, it's not on Stoudamire.
And the first foul is on Alberto. Very good officiating crew in terms of experience, and they'll have themselves tested tonight. It has been a very physical series. Lots of twists and turns. Stoudamire lost it, got it back. Some of the early matchups. Bowen is on Nash. He's done a very good job on Nash. The high floater puts it in.
Wow.
He heard you.
That's dominant right there, Coach.
Meanwhile, down the other end, Sean Marion guarding Parker. He's done an excellent job on Parker. Nice feed inside to Alberto, and Alberto gets it to go.
He is very, very crafty around the basket. He uses the rim for protection, so the shot blocking players can't get to the shot.
Nash to Stoudamire. Inside block from behind by Duncan. Duncan has been superb at 3 block shots in the final 3.5 minutes of Game 5. Big defensive plays for Duncan. Finley for 3. And Kurt Thomas the rebound. All right, what's the tempo? Obviously, Phoenix wants to push it as much as they can. Do you expect a high-scoring game, Jeff?
I don't really, because the more they play this big starting lineup, the less effective they are in transition. It's an interesting dilemma for Mike D'Antoni. What does he want to go to, his speed team or to his defensive alignment?
The interesting thing is both teams have been able to play different paces, different styles. They're not one-dimensional teams by any stretch of the imagination. Parker in the paint, draws the foul and one, and Stoudamire picks up his first personal.
Well, just what we're talking about, Amare Stoudamire, an early foul. If you're going to foul a man, do not let him make the basket. He gave ground to Tony Parker there. Tony did a great job of getting the body contact, used the glass. But Stoudamire's got to meet him outside the restricted area. You can't give ground to Tony Parker.
But I would say this. Marion's size bothers Parker in a one-on-one situation, but it's very hard to negotiate screens if you're 6'9", trying to play a lot of pick-and-roll defense, which he hasn't had to do all year because he's played at the 4.
Stoudamire at Alberto, goes right at him, bank shot won't go. Stoudamire talked about being aggressive but playing smart and trying to hold back a little bit so he doesn't get over-jacked up. Duncan misses badly, and here comes Raja Bell. Owen stays right with him. Bell. Kurt Thomas has been shooting well in the series. Stoudamire, and that's the part of his game that he's improved so much of since coming back from the knee injury.
But how about that San Antonio defense? Dribble, drive, help, recover. They are so good at keeping the Phoenix Suns out of the paint that they have to shoot the ball extremely well today to have a chance.
Parker, the floater. He's getting into paint early. That was the key, of course, in Game 1, where the Spurs won in Phoenix. They've done a pretty good job since then of keeping him out on a consistent basis. Nash looking. Thomas, nice fake. Nope, they call a travel. Thomas doesn't like the call.
Well, again, Phoenix's offense is not as fluid, big lineup. It keeps from Stoudamire having to guard Duncan, but down there, Duncan can give more help and help off Thomas because he's not guarding the three-point shooter.
They're much more effective with Sean Marion at the 4 spot.
Bowen misses the 2-pointer. Stoudamire the rebound. No team has won back-to-back games in this series. They've alternated. Suns, of course, with the big victory in Game 4 here in San Antonio. Low pass. Thomas draws the foul. Good catch in traffic from Kurt Thomas. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Steve Nash looked like he was in a bowling alley there. He kind of rolled that one over, a little side spin. Amazing pass. I mean, the things that he's able to do are just mind-boggling.
Thomas getting the second foul on Alberto. Thomas hasn't missed a free throw yet in the series. Played so well in game 5 without Stoudamire. A guy that, Jeff, you coached in New York. He's been a real pro all year. The numbers he's put up, no surprise to a lot of people who've seen him throughout his career.
A tremendous individual low post defender. And I thought what Duncan did in the second half of game 5 was face him up a little bit more and attack his feet. His lateral quickness isn't the same, but as you see right here, Kurt Thomas had an outstanding game by 15 points, 12 rebounds, and his team defense and individual low post defense is the best that the Suns have.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they acquired him in that trade that saw Quentin Richardson go to the Knicks just for series like this. 2 years ago, Duncan had his way against Phoenix and beating him in 5 games. Duncan, bank shot won't go. And Nash the rebound.
Well, could that 36 minutes that Kurt Thomas play a factor here tonight? Not used to playing that many minutes.
Stoudamire tripped. Oh, he still put it in. He thought he was tripped. And Amare Stoudamire gives the Suns a 2-point lead. Some of the best individual defenders in the NBA in this series. Parker gets inside, blocked by Marion Duncan right there. Elson on the follow, can't get it to go. Gonna try again, able to put it in. All this going on with Kurt Thomas on the floor. He couldn't get out of the way.
Tim Duncan has yet to hit the rim on 3 post catches. Maybe he's a little bit fired up.
And 2 of those have been left-handed shots, and I have really not seen him go to that left hand very often in his career. So it's interesting that he's going to the left hand early.
Says something to Elson. Elson coming in with Alberto out. How often do you see in big games players like a Francisco Elson, a role player, step up and have a big game? Who will that be tonight? Elson the rebound.
Well, there's so many guys that are on that list that you talk about, Mike.
Blocked, but a foul.
Career-defining moments can happen tonight. Guys like Boris Diaw, guys like Francisco Elson. This can make a career. This is game 6. This is a possible championship team. Both of these teams get it done.
And it can also lead to a big payday if you have a great game. I mean, these are where you get paid and overpaid many times if you have 1 or 2 big playoff games.
Not that players think about that. As you see, Parker erupted in game 1, had a solid game 4, but they've done a decent job of keeping him in check. Well, like some of the other games.
Like Jeff mentioned earlier, the length of Marion has bothered him. He's kept him out of the paint, made him more into a jump shooter, which he is not. But after a 14 for 22 game 1, Parker just shooting 41% in the last 4 games.
Well, you mentioned Marion. We have Bruce Bowen, we have Raja Bell and Duncan, 4 of the best defenders in the league. 3 of them on All-NBA first-team defense. Bell shot in and out. Duncan the rebound. 2-point San Antonio lead. How about Marion? In this series, he's guarded Parker and Duncan. Nice pick and roll. Elson can't finish. And it's going to be Phoenix ball. How many players in the league can guard a Tim Duncan and a Tony Parker in the same game? Not many.
1, Sean Marion, and you're seeing him. And I'll tell you what, he guarded Yao Ming against us a couple times and did a very good job fronting him. He can guard 1 through 5. Very few players can do that in this league.
Nash, Stoudamire again knocks it down. He's got 6 points. What a difference that has made in his offensive arsenal to be able to hit the mid-range jumper.
Well, that's the difference from game 5 to tonight with Amare Stoudamire in the lineup. He can roll to the basket, and now he's capable of knocking down that jumper.
Ginobili doesn't waste any time getting on the board. We have 2 of the best, if not the best, 6 men in the league in tonight's game. Duncan blocks the shot and the save. His second rejection. Parker to Bowen. That's a 3. Elson the offensive rebound. And Bowen traveled. How hard is it as a player, John, in a game like this? You have to be so juiced up to kind of, you want to have that aggressiveness, but keep your emotions in check.
Well, it's very difficult, and I was talking to Coach Van Gundy today saying, I'm glad I didn't start because I felt my heart was going to pop out of my chest as we ran out and got ready for the game. But these guys are professional. They know what they're doing. They're not going to overreact.
Bad pass, but Bell able to come up with it. Shot clock down to 6. Nash inside the Thomas, blocked by Duncan, his third. Marion the push shot. By the way, John, you don't have to call him coach anymore.
Ex-coach. Just call me your ex.
Speedy Gonzalez here getting a job already. Got fired today, for God's sakes. A playoff series is a lot like having a roommate. You find things out about each other as time goes on, things you might not like, and you basically just get on each other's nerves, and I think that's where this series has come to.
Sounds like you've had some bad experiences.
Oh, absolutely not.
Ginobili, Elson, Bowen, Duncan, and Parker. Duncan from outside. He starts hitting that shot, you're in trouble.
Well, when you're playing San Antonio, that's exactly what you want Duncan to do. But a great call out of the timeout by Popovich, because, as you see, an illegal screen by Roger Bell, because Duncan had struggled on his inside catches, had struggled to hit the rim, got him a catch at the elbow, and knocked it in.
Here's the offensive foul, throwing that little left shoulder there for Bell. So that's his first. Boris Diaw has checked in, as has Leandro Barbosa. What's Diaw's main contribution for this team, Jeff?
He's one of the best passing big men in the NBA. And he really he flows so well with Nash because he makes quick decisions. He shoots it, or he drives it, or he passes it immediately on the catch.
He's their second best playmaker, according to Mike D'Antoni. Here's Barbosa trying to get him started. Banks in his first shot. He has really struggled in this series, averaging 11 a game, shooting just 36% from the field. One of the more explosive players in the league.
Jeff, I know you and I agree that Leandro Barbosa has to be a factor tonight. The San Antonio Spurs have totally negated his speed with their transition defense.
Pass was behind Duncan, 2-on-1, and Parker lets Bell go in for the layup.
And I would have liked to see Roger Bell give that to Barbosa to get him another basket, to feel really good about himself.
Absolutely. Anytime a man's ahead of you, you give up the basketball.
Duncan, Stoudamire guarding him. Thomas is on the bench. Duncan lost control again. Here comes Barbosa. But the Spurs are back. Barbosa against Parker. Good defense from Parker. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Elson. And it's Suns ball.
Barbosa is a right-handed player that loves to drive left. And he got a left-handed drive on his first basket. Much better job there by Parker of cutting off the left hand and making him go to the baseline.
Nash coming over. Stoudamire, another jumper. He's 3 for 3 from the perimeter and 4 of 7 overall. Phoenix up by 4 as we approach the 4-minute mark. Ginobili had the huge game 5, made all the big plays in the fourth quarter. He'd been struggling. Gets his own rebound. Can't finish, and Stoudamire grabs another board.
5 offensive rebounds now for the San Antonio Spurs. Phoenix cannot afford to give San Antonio multiple possessions.
Stoudamire a little further out. Not that time. Ginobili had 10 rebounds as well as the big point total. Parker stripped but fouled. And Barbosa commits his first. Parker getting to the line often here in the first quarter.
I love Parker's mentality. He's going right to the basket. He's living in the paint. He's not worried about who's guarding him. This is what he does best. Right to left crossover. Looked like a pretty clean strip there, but his attacking mentality is a great sign for San Antonio.
Dick Pavetta talking with Raja Bell. Parker had his 25th birthday yesterday. It's hard to imagine that he's only 25. This is his 6th year in the league. Played in so many big games already, and he has gone from being a good, solid player to one of the best in the league.
There's no better finisher from the dotted circle to the basket than Tony Parker. He's got an array of shots. He can use both hands, and he knows how to use his body.
Knocking down the free throws. He's 5 for 5. Shot a career high from the free throw line this season. In fact, 6 different Spurs shot career highs from the line. They're a much improved team at the strike. Diaw back to Nash, steps back. Elson's on him. He'd love to still have his dribble. I guess he does. Spins inside. And a bad pass taken by Ginobili. Here's Parker. There's that finishing. Barbosa on the drive. Bank shot. It's every part of the rim before dropping in.
That's where Leandro Barbosa has got to score before the San Antonio defense gets set. Nobody quicker than this guy with the basketball in the NBA. He's got to score in transition.
And they score off makes so quickly, Bowen couldn't handle it. And it's going to be Phoenix ball, and we'll have a timeout. Game 6 from San Antonio, just under 3 minutes remaining in the first, and the Suns with a 2-point lead. We're pleased to be joined during our playoff coverage with Jeff Van Gundy, the former Rockets coach. Of course, that announced today from the Rockets. You've been let go as head coach of Houston. I know it's not an easy day for you. Tell us your feelings and your thoughts on the whole process.
Well, obviously, it's disappointing anytime you get fired, but I'd rather, you know, leave on a positive note. I really had a great 4 years, great experiences, thankful for the opportunities. And when you lose a 7th game at home on your home floor, you're going to pay as a head coach, and you understand that. And I was disappointed I couldn't help our team get over the hump, but I had a great group of guys to coach for those 4 years and tremendous coaches to work with, and I couldn't be more thankful for that opportunity.
Now, I've known you for a long time. You are born to coach, and coach, that's what you do. That's who you are. How long do you think? Would you like to get right back in it, or what's the thought process there as Marion gets the offensive rebound, can't put it back, battle around, and it's still Phoenix ball? What's the thought process? Well,
I think of myself as a coach, but certainly it's very difficult to get an NBA job, and up until today, I thought I would be coaching Houston, so I really haven't thought about the future. I'm just very fortunate to be in this situation, broadcasting such a great game.
Well, we're glad to have you. Ginobili banks it in. Manu Ginobili, who has come alive in this series.
Mike, Jeff, the best coach I ever played for at any level, any time. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. Well, maybe I am. But really, the greatest basketball mind I've ever been around.
Marion gets inside. Duncan the rebound. And I will let everyone know, you've been saying that all year long, not just because he's sitting next to you.
I learned a great deal from Jeff.
Duncan kicks it out. Bowen. That's a three. And Sean Marion the rebound. Marion had 17 rebounds in game 5. Had a huge first half. They did a good job slowing them down in the second half. This, of course, an elimination game for Phoenix. They played in 5 of them last year and won 4, so they felt this pressure before. How much is that in terms of experience of playing in these kind of games? Ball kicked. Barbosa gets it back and just fires it up as the shot clock was expiring. It looked like that was a kick ball. They should have reset the shot clock.
Well, absolutely. I should have been a kick ball. I don't know what Tom Washington was looking at over there.
But I think this is a critical time at the end of the quarter. It always is critical times, as you see the kick there, very obvious missed call. But Nash is out. How they finish this quarter is so important for Phoenix with their point guard, their distributor, their system out of the game.
And here's where Diaw comes into play because he is their second best playmaker. Meanwhile, we have to, of course, mention, even though Diaw and Stoudamire are back, Robert Horry serving the second of his 2 games in his suspension, and a travel called on Elson. Horry's known as Big Shot Rob, but he does so much more for this team, John, than just shoot big 3-pointers.
Well, I think he's a lot like Sean Marion. Certainly not the athleticism that Sean Marion has, but a better 3-point shooter and a guy that can defend 1 through 5 positions. I really believe Robert Horry is an excellent defender, knows how to play the game, and Greg Popovich told us today that he is sorely missed.
High basketball IQ. You can never be too smart out on the floor, and that's what these teams have. High basketball IQ, good shot pass decision makers.
Popovich says he does the little things to win big games as Raja Bell knocks down another jumper. Bell with 4 points, and the Suns by 2. San Antonio 3-2 at home in the playoffs. They've lost a couple of games at home. Game 4 of this series. And they lost the opener against the Denver Nuggets in the first round. Ginobili, nice move. And he draws the foul. That's the second on Raja Bell.
Well, that's just a terrific move there by Manu Ginobili. Loves to go left. Raja Bell cut him off the left hand. He crossed over, went right, drew the foul. Pretty indefensible move right there with a guy Manu's quickness.
Yeah, look at those numbers. That's just for a quarter. And the big quarter, number 4, where he erupted, hit all of his free throws. In fact, he's shooting 91% from the line in the playoffs. Mike D'Antoni was talking about him yesterday and said, and it's been this way throughout his career. He's a big moment guy. He's not afraid of the big moment. He's played in big games throughout his entire career. First as a professional player in Europe, Olympic play, international play, and now in the NBA.
And when Tim Duncan goes out of the game, the San Antonio offense runs through Manu Ginobili. He knows that. He relishes this time. He likes the pressure. He likes to be the guy that has to make all the plays.
Raja Bell for three. Too strong. And here comes Brent Barry.
Both teams are very small right now. Both teams playing small ball.
Seen that quite a bit in the series. Phoenix, of course, likes to do it on a regular basis. Ginobili with 6 on the shot clock. Mary now guarding in. Gets up on him, and Ginobili can't hit. A rebound, Bell. Final seconds. They had a foul to give. Smart play from Brent Barry. Just like a Barry to make a smart play.
Oh, no, he didn't want to get squared up and have Barbosa go by him like he had cement shoes on.
But those possessions are critical. You got to know time, score, shot clock, and penalty situation. Good, intelligent play by Brent Barry.
Shot clock turned off. Diaw gets inside, and that's a travel. Took an extra step. That's 6 turnovers for Phoenix here in the first quarter. San Antonio with 5. Parker's going to come back in for the final play of the period.
Because he can get to the rim from three-quarter court in 3.2 seconds. And so Barbosa's got to both pressure but contain.
Parker looks up, fires a 3. And this hits the rim. Pretty good attempt as the first quarter.
Point guard. And you can't try to be Steve Nash. You got to be who you are. And he's attacking the rim to score. And he's creating foul shot opportunities, getting Phoenix into the penalty situation early in the first quarter.
James Jones checking in for the first time for Phoenix. Parker, a 2-pointer, knocks it down. Parker doesn't take a lot of threes. It's one of the reasons he shoots such a high percentage. Knows his limitations as a shooter.
Well, no team has made a 3 in the first quarter. The San Antonio Spurs have done just a wonderful job of keeping the Suns off the line. Phoenix made just under 10, as Marion with the baseline miss, just under 10 threes a game during the regular season, making just 6 here in the playoffs against the San Antonio Spurs.
Spurs are the best three-point shooting team in the playoffs, as Barry can't hit that 3. They were the 3rd best during the regular season, so it's not out of the norm for them. In fact, it's a big part of their weapon on offense. James Jones nails the shot.
A very good mid-range pull-up by James Jones, but exactly what San Antonio wants. Barry closes out, goes for a little shot fake, runs him off the 3, makes him take a 2-point shot off the dribble.
Jones guarding Barry, pass down low, deflected by Diaw and stolen. Ginobili tried to force it in. That's their 6th turnover.
Jeff, the Phoenix Suns play a lot better defense than people think, don't they?
There's no doubt. They've improved over the last 3 years as much on defense as any team in the league over that period of time. And they downgrade their defense. Their coaches, you know, we're an offensive team, but they have improved because they know the only way to win big in this league is through balance. Play good offense, good defense, and also rebound the ball.
Good defense that time, but Ginobili just better on offense. And Manu Ginobili, 8 points off the bench.
I thought you might say good special teams as well, like NFL football coaches say.
Barbosa, meanwhile. And Barbosa has it going early, 6 points.
Well, the ability to get in the lane, so much of what Leandro Barbosa does.
Oh, Parker, what a play. And able to get it to fall. 15 points already for Tony Parker. Barbosa comes right back. And he got fouled by Ginobili.
When the teams are small like they are right now, the pick and roll defense, it's impossible to guard Tony Parker on the pick and roll. He's got 3 other 3-point shooters. He's got a good screener in Alberto. And then down at the other end with Barbosa, the floor is spread because they're playing 3-point shooters. And now the floor is wide open. He can get to the basket again, left, and gets fouled.
You almost gave him a new nickname, which would be a good nickname, Tony Pick and Roll. He plays it so well.
Well, how would you play that? I mean, you might as well switch it if you're small. Just go ahead and switch the pick and roll to stop the penetration.
The hard part about switching against Parker is he's so good backing it out and then, like Nash, attacking the big and finishing at the rim.
Right. So Barbosa knocks down the first free throw. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, assistant coach Dan D'Antoni gives LB a list of keys for him to remember before every game, but tonight he changed it up. D'Antoni told me he said just one thing to the struggling Barbosa. He said, be aggressive. D'Antoni told me he knows what to do. He's too far along for me to be giving him too much. In fact, maybe I have been giving him too much. He just needs to get back to being himself. And so far, guys, he does look more himself tonight, doesn't he?
No question about it, Michelle. The young man from Brazil, who's all of a sudden saying he's felt horrible about the way he's played. Parker knocks down another. Boy, Tony Parker is just lighting it up here in the first half.
Well, Leandro Barbosa comes down on the double team there, leaving Tony Parker. No one rotates to Parker. That's not the guy I would leave open right now.
Barbosa not that time. Finley the rebound. Marion now guarding Ginobili. Ginobili, beautiful move across the lane. He's got double figures again with 10.
That finish is nearly impossible over the length of Sean Marion. That's just a special player with special touch on the finish.
Just over 3 minutes gone by here in the second. Barbosa stripped down low. Finley comes up with a loose ball. Barry. Ginobili fakes the 3 and a travel.
I've seen more traveling calls tonight than I've seen throughout the playoffs.
Ginobili doesn't like it. The crowd, of course, doesn't like it, but it's a turnover. His teammates call him Hollywood. They love to tease him about him and his relationship with Eva Longoria, but his game is not Hollywood. He's not a flashy player. He's just so effective.
Well, he's got 17 points. The rest of the Spurs, 16.
And he's on Steve Nash now. Bowen is on James Jones. Stoudamire gets inside on Alberto. On the follow, can't get it to fall. Gets it again, lost it. Falls down. Alberto just whacked him, and they finally call it. I've always said this, Jeff. If you fall down on the floor with the ball, you can do whatever you want. You rarely see a foul ever called. You can sit on a guy's head, whatever, and they always usually call a jump ball.
And I like that. I like that. Because if you're the first to the floor, you should get rewarded. Alberto's second to the floor, so he shouldn't get rewarded. But if he was first to the floor, he should be able to do whatever he wants.
Well, Alberto now has 3 fouls, and he'll come out. Elson reports back in. Well, they've let them play. It's been the official letting him go early here in this game. Players like that, as long as it's consistent. Marion way short. But Thomas keeps it alive. Excellent play from Thomas. Oh, Parker takes it away. Still loose. And there you go. Let's just dive on him. Stoudamire finds Marion. And Nash will set it up.
That was one heck of a play to avoid the jump ball by Amare Stoudamire.
Nash inside. James Jones for 3. It's good. James Jones off the bench with a couple of big buckets.
And we always thought when Nash got behind the basket that you had to recover right away to the three-point shooters. It's like in hockey, when you go behind the net, you've got to protect the goal. No, everyone's sucked in when he found James Jones.
That's the first three-pointer of the game by either team. They've been 0 for 9 combined. Parker puts it in. 19 points for Tony Parker.
If he's making the jump shot, there's no defending him because he can get it to the rim or he can make the pull-up.
Nash deflected out of bounds by Elson. And it's still Phoenix ball. We've seen this all series, whether it's Nash driving to the basket, Barbosa, you make the great move. All of a sudden, maybe the best help defender, best interior defender is there in Duncan.
And 2 other guys. I mean, it's this whole San Antonio Spur defense. Absolutely amazing. Steve Nash, I don't think there's a team that has made him work harder than the San Antonio Spurs.
Bowen has done a fabulous job, but Duncan has helped. Jones, again, James Jones off the bench. He's 3 for 3.
Well, I think game 5 was a breakout game for him. He got some confidence. He went 4 for 6. He had 9 points. Mike D'Antoni loves him. He's a good defender, and now looks like a confident shooter.
Parker to Duncan. How many times do you see that? Pretty pass from Parker. Nash finding Stoudamire. Stoudamire again, and it's Phoenix ball.
But along with being a great defensive team and shot blocking with Duncan, they don't foul inside. They put their hands straight up. They don't come down. They're one of the best teams in the league at avoiding fouls near the basket.
No layups for other teams. Every layup is contested.
Stoudamire gets hammered by Elson.
I don't think Elson got the memo from Duncan about not whacking at the guy at the rim, but he can afford to take a hard foul. Duncan's got to stay on the floor.
So Stoudamire will go to the line. Elson picking up the personal. Roberto already sitting down with the 3 fouls. Stoudamire watched Game 5 at his house. Wanted to watch it at his restaurant, which is about a block away from the arena in Phoenix, but he said it was too crowded. So he went home, watched it with his family. Said he was going nuts for the first 3 quarters as he hits the first free throw. And we remind you, our NBA calendar, ABC Sunday, it's either going to be Game 7 of this series or Game 1 between San Antonio and Utah of the conference finals. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern. TNT Monday, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Detroit hosting Cleveland. Congratulations to the Cavaliers back in the conference finals.
Hey, but that's great marketing by Stoudamire, announcing he's going to be at his restaurant, gets everybody to go, makes a ton of money, and then goes home to the sanctity of his house.
That's exactly what happened. We don't have the take from the restaurant that night. We'll try and get that figure for you, especially if you don't close out and you have to go on the road for Game 7. There's a foul call on Kurt Thomas. Bruce Bowen was saying after the victory the other night in Phoenix, we don't want to come back here, and they certainly don't want to do that. But as we've seen, Jeff, 3 road wins already in this series. The home court advantage has kind of gone by the wayside in this matchup.
I think home court advantage in a 7th game is critical down the stretch of the final quarter. But really, in the first few games, both teams are so good. They've won. They've got confidence on the road. They know they can win anywhere. And right there, I just watched the last back in by Duncan. Somebody's got to come, John. He backed in 3-4 dribbles. You just can't let anybody back in that long and that deep without coming to give some support.
Absolutely. I think the Suns should change up their coverage. Double on the catch sometimes double on the dribble. But mix it up. And not only do you take Tim Duncan out of a rhythm, you take the shooters out of a rhythm. If I'm a shooter and I know that a team is double teaming, I'm over there licking my chops, sitting in the corner knowing that they're going to double. It's going to be swing, swing, and I'm sitting on a wide open 3-pointer.
They have tried to mix it up, though, to some extent.
They did a great job in Game 5.
And I was interested. Coach D'Antoni said yesterday he gives his defenders the freedom to double, to read the situation versus having a set. As we see Thomas knock down another elbow. Set time to double, whether it's on the dribble or on the catch. He lets them read the situation.
And that can be dangerous as well, too, Coach.
Got to have a high basketball IQ to entrust that to
No
your
wonder
team.
why you never let me do it.
Here's Duncan. Thomas plays him straight up, plays him well. Duncan, though, gets right by after the initial stop. Tim Duncan now with 7 points. Nash to Stoudamire. Look at that athleticism. Ball knocked out of bounds. Again, last touch by Elson. Wasn't a great shot, but it was pretty good athleticism.
Well, yeah, he avoided the charge. Tim Duncan tried to set up for the charge there, and he's able to slither to the right. But Amare Stoudamire struggling here, just 4 of 13. 1 for his last 7.
Well, you knew he was going to come out fired up. Ball poked away by Ginobili. Barbosa, though, pokes it back to his teammate. Nash looking. Boy, Ginobili, underrated defensively, has got his hands on a lot of deflections. Nash for 3. Won't go. Ginobili with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a couple of steals already. Thomas. Duncan slowly, and there's the foul. Thomas mad at himself. And Duncan's a little shaken up. Took a pretty good whack. He again, and this is, people find this hard to believe, he holds the Spurs record for most free throws made in a game without a miss. 17 for 17, and in the playoffs he was 15 for 15 in the playoff game.
You just did it to him again.
It has no effect.
You did it last time we were here in San Antonio. You know what? His form, what he does is he gets a nice knee bend but he goes up and his legs are extended at the end of the shot, and therefore he short-arms the ball a lot.
Shot won't go on the second attempt. Stoudamire right there to defend him.
You can't give up a free throw rebound to the shooter. And that's critical. It could have cost Stoudamire another foul.
Stoudamire inside. Oh, he makes a nice adjustment that time. So 12 points, 7 rebounds for Amare Stoudamire.
How about Tim Duncan already, as he plays another one, 6 blocks in the first half.
NBA record for most blocks in a playoff game is 10. And he's more than halfway there. Nash to Barbosa, tiptoeing. Barbosa looking for an opening. He stepped out of bounds. 9 turnovers for Phoenix. And Spurs going with the small ball with the exception of Duncan.
Well, now you have Shaw Marion at the floor. Let's see if he can get off offensively.
Quick spin. Oh, Duncan right to the goal.
He felt the body up by Stoudamire, off balance. Great read by Duncan, the spin baseline off of Stoudamire's forearm.
9 of his 11 have come here in the second period. We still have over 3.5 to play. Crowd has been fired up. Stoudamire draws the foul on his way to the basket. It's against Finley. That's his first. Stoudamire is, you see the numbers, he scored 20 points or more in now 14 straight playoff games. And that's a Suns record, just past Charles Barkley with that. We've seen him in just his brief time. He is not afraid of the playoff pressure. Again, the key for him is staying out of foul problems.
And I love this substitution by Mike D'Antoni. Put Barbosa back in for Diaw to put more speed and shooting on the floor, because if Stoudamire has to guard Duncan at one end and at the other end they can crowd the lane because Marion and Diaw are not range shooters, then it makes it harder for Stoudamire to take Duncan off the dribble. With this lineup, he's got more room to drive the ball.
All tied up with 3.5 to play here in the second. Jock Bowen getting his first minutes. Right back to Duncan. Duncan most likely loves it when Kurt Thomas goes to the bench. He makes it look easy. Duncan having a big second quarter. Spurs back up by 2.
Spurs 11 of 13 now in the second quarter.
Finley now on Nash. Nash takes him off the dribble. Wrap around to Stoudamire and the foul. What a pass from Steve Nash. And we'll have a timeout. We'll take a look at that one again.
Yeah, Robert, thanks for joining us. You said after the suspensions, which were controversial, it felt like a punch in the gut. David Stern has said that rule can change if the owners tell him they want it changed. What will you do about this rule as one of the owners who was clearly affected by it?
I think you just have to use some subjectiveness to all rules, just like all laws are. And unfortunately, this one had, really bad unintended consequences. But it is what it is, and we got to play with the cards we're dealt. We're playing a tough game today. It's a rough series. I don't know if you've had a chance to zero in on Steve's legs, but he's got about 15 bruises over his body, and the one on his calf is really pretty cool. You guys ought to take a look at it.
Cool bruises. We'll get a look. Finally, if you guys get eliminated tonight, how will this series be remembered by you? Is there an asterisk next to it?
I think the fans all and the media all wrote about that, and I think they voiced their opinion the day after. I don't need to pile on.
I appreciate you joining us. We're going to go look for some bruises on Steve's legs. Thanks, Robert.
Yeah.
Ginobili hits a 3. Jeff and John, what were your guys' views on the whole way that came down with the rule and the decision? Jeff?
Well, I thought it was unfortunate for both teams. I think Ori's foul was not as flagrant in deserving 2 games, but certainly there was some where they felt they needed to make a statement with him because it did start the whole incident. And I felt really bad for Diaw and Stoudamire. I thought they regained their composure quickly enough where they could have avoided the suspensions as well.
Parker misses. Duncan the offensive rebound. Ginobili makes the drive. Oh, what a pass from Ginobili. Duncan got blocked by Stoudamire, but Duncan comes right back. Some great individual plays at both ends of the floor. Nash and a reaching foul on Ginobili. And that'll put them in the penalty. And Nash to the free throw line.
Well, the last 2 scores for the Spurs, offensive rebounds. They cannot give the Spurs multiple opportunities.
Duncan is dominating the game right now at both ends of the floor. Shot blocks, second shots, post moves, forcing double teams now. And I think I just saw Nash miss a free throw.
There's a great wraparound pass. Just never gives up on a play. And Duncan 13 points here in the second quarter. Nash doesn't miss many. There's one of the bruises, which was described as cool by his owner. Nash might take the differ on the way he wanted to describe it. 3-point game, minute and a half remaining, first half. There's the double as they mix it up on Duncan. Barry, tough shot, falling away. And a rebound, Nash. Bowen in pursuit. Nash back to Marion. Oh. That's a fairly effective trailer play.
Well, one of the few times San Antonio not doing a good job in transition defense. Marion comes down the lane unaccounted for.
But this is their speed team plus. They have a cross match going on. Marion's guarding Parker, and at the other end, they've got Ginobili on Marion, so there's a little indecision in transition.
Parker lost it momentarily. Excellent defense from Marion. They're going to call a foul. That's a tough call on Sean Marion. Looked like Parker initiated the contact as he picks up his second.
There, Mike, you know what? I've had enough. You did it again. 5 for 5. All right, what is it?
I won't do it anymore. I'm sorry.
Man, you're good. You are good.
I've heard of the power of the word. 49.8 seconds remaining. 2 misses. Duncan, another rebound off a missed free throw, knocked out of bounds.
I know, Coach Van Gundy, that drives you crazy.
Free throw rebounds, dead ball situations.
As these two teams had such great seasons, Suns, of course, all season long. San Antonio started a little bit slow for them, but had their typical great second half.
2-for-1 situation here. They want to go at around 36, get the shot up by 30, so they have a second opportunity coming back.
Parker lost it, and a reaching foul.
Well, based on game 4, not very well.
Well, if you have the second most fouls in the league, it was
probably not very good.
Probably not a strength, and so a good substitution. I just say if you have guys that you can trust, leave them in. Let them finish quarters.
Stoudamire's improved defensively, but still has a ways to go. Nash, and there's Duncan right there to greet him. Dial inside, blocked for the foul. And Duncan with that wide-eyed expression. He has 6 blocks already.
It just shows you how tough officiating is. If 2 guys can disagree on a call on a slow motion replay, just imagine how difficult it is to make a call at game speed.
Oh, now you're complimenting him.
Oh, I love officials.
Dial missing the first free throw, so now they're 9 of 12 from the line. Duncan with a superb first half. He's explaining to someone, no, wait a minute, he pushed off. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 6 block shots for Duncan in the first half.
He can go at halftime. That's a good game right there.
2-point game, final possession right now for San Antonio. As the shot clock is turned off. Matt Bonner, good 3-point shooters come on for the Spurs. Crowd getting on its feet as we wind down the first half. Parker looks up, makes his drive, puts it up. Walko.
And that was great tonight. Can he keep it going in the second half for the Spurs to eliminate the Suns?
Well, I don't want to point out a mistake, but 6 blocks is not halfway to 10. Okay, I don't know where that Georgia Tech math.
I didn't say he was halfway.
Yes,
over halfway.
Parker inside, blocked by Marion, and still San Antonio ball. As we send it over to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, big cheers erupted in the Phoenix locker room at the end of Mike D'Antoni's halftime speech. He told his team what a great game this is, what an unbelievably high level of basketball is being played. And he told me this game will come down to a missed foul shot, a broken play, a turnover. For the Suns to win, they just have to do a little extra. Couldn't do it right there, Mike.
Well, Tim Duncan has been doing a little extra all series, continues his terrific play.
I like that he's facing up Kurt Thomas and going off the dribble versus always backing in, which is Kurt Thomas's strength, low post defense.
Bowen again denies Nash. Stoudamire blocked by Duncan. That's his 7th of the game. And he keeps it in play. You rarely see Duncan try and block a shot into the 5th row.
There's just no room for the Phoenix Suns when they go to the basket. Somebody always there.
Parker short. And And a loose ball foul called on Alberto. That's his fourth. He's been in foul trouble the whole game. 4 fouls in 6 minutes. And Elson quickly off the bench.
A great box out there by Kurt Thomas, who's a guy that has to box out. Not great elevation for Kurt. Used his body well there. And Alberto will probably be done for the third quarter.
That's why they have a two-headed center. Elson and Alberto have done a good job all season long, one picking up the other. Bowen, very physical on Nash. Nash trying to draw contact. And Elson the rebound. And a loose ball foul. Steve Nash saying he's riding me, he's pushing me as Elson is shaken up on the play. So Elson still down. Duncan now coming up to make sure he's okay.
This is tremendous defense, and it makes Nash take a shot that he would not normally take. And he's rushed right now on his own shot. He's frustrated. He's going at the referees, and a very subtle thing just happened. Elson gets hurt. Save the timeout. Get up. Don't linger on the floor. Save the timeout. He got off the floor, and now they saved that what could be a valuable 20-second timeout.
And Matt Bonner comes in. Bonner's only played 10 minutes in the entire playoffs, getting an opportunity here with the foul problems to Alberto and the injury to Elson.
I can't say enough about the job that Bruce Bowen has done on Steve Nash. Exactly what he wants to do. Be a pest. He's in Steve Nash's head right now.
Stoudamire high for the rebound. Bowen knows just the line in terms of how physical to play without going overboard, at least most of the time. Some of the times, of course, it goes to the point of being too physical. But in terms of the officials calling fouls on him, he's got a great feel for that.
And it's not dirty. We talked about this today, Jeff. It's crafty, I would say. He knows what to get away with, just like you said. I don't think he has any intention of hurting anybody, but he just pesters you and bothers you 48 minutes a night.
Quick feet, long arms, and studies defense as much as some teams study offense.
Thomas defended Duncan beautifully until that final move. And Duncan will head back to the line. 3 fouls on Kurt Thomas.
And that's always been his major problem defensively, is that the finish of the defense, he's done a good job containing him, trying to consistently strip down. Duncan just did a deadlift shrimp where he showed the ball, brought it up under him, and forced Thomas into a foul. Kurt's got to go straight up, and he's got to stay away from those type of fouls.
Well, that's 3 fouls for Kurt. They cannot afford to lose him if they want to play Tim Duncan straight up.
You see Duncan just 1 of 5 from the line. As a team, they're 10 of 16. So often these games, these huge playoff games, so much riding on it, so many big plays, sometimes it simply comes down to who makes their free throws.
And you always tend to forget the ones you miss in the third quarter or the second or first quarter. They're all important.
Nash working with Stoudamire. Boy, they defend that pick and roll so well. Stoudamire knocks it down. 19 points for the big guy, who's come back beautifully after sitting out Game 5 with a suspension.
And how about coming back beautifully from microfracture knee surgery? I saw him in the first week of the season, and I swear I didn't think he'd ever get back to this level.
Well, that Game 5 suspension, that's the first game he's missed all year. He's getting it beautifully off the glass.
He felt Marion's double team coming. He turned away from the double team and went right off the glass.
Nash tries to get it inside. Stoudamire lost it. Nash picks it up. Kurt Thomas left wide open. And Nash, the offensive rebound inside. Stoudamire blocked again. Knocked out of bounds. Phoenix ball. 8 block shots for Tim Duncan. He's still not satisfied with the call. He said it was off his head.
Just over halfway, Coach.
Yeah, 70% of the way to the record.
Incredible. I didn't realize how great a defender he really is.
Marion, too strong. Kurt Thomas, the rebound. The record again is 10 in a playoff game. Akeem Olajuwon and Mark Eaton share that. Stoudamire, and he's fouled. Francisco Elson raises his hand, and Amare Stoudamire back to the line.
What a great pass. Steve Nash, cross court, over his shoulder, right on time, on target, as you always preach, Coach. On time, on target. And Amare Stoudamire, just great ability to catch the ball. He has got unbelievable hands.
And he's got a quick jump to the rim, and he's never double clutching to avoid contact. He's going right up through the contact to get to the free throw line.
And there you see he's hit the 20-point mark for the 15th straight playoff game. Passing Charles Barkley a couple of games ago. Stoudamire only 24 years old. Another one of those players right from high school to the NBA. And this year his goal was to make the All-Star team. Again, as John, you mentioned, with that knee problems back in training camp, no one thought he had a shot to even come close to that, except he did. Not only makes the All-Star team, but he makes first team All-NBA. Thomas, single coverage again. Duncan, shot won't go. And here comes Shawn Marion. Bowen greets him as soon as he gets the ball, and there's a foul on Bowen. Yeah, Bruce Bowen picks up his first. Bowen and Stoudamire having some words. Both using their arms.
Well, now that is a call directly related to Steve Nash talking to the official and Mike D'Antoni just three plays ago when Steve felt he was being fouled.
Well, that's okay. If a player says something to the official, hey, want you to watch this, the officials will do that. Tried to thread the needle, and it was not deflected. Steve Nash yelling at Dick Bavetta. He's close to getting a technical. Bavetta not looking at him. Boy, Nash really losing his temper. Now he starts clapping. Now he's back in the positive end. Marion forcing Parker baseline and a kickball. So they'll reset the shot clock to 14.
I think Duncan should flow into more quick pick and rolls that aren't really set plays to get Parker back in the lane like he started the game with.
Parker. Bowen, and an offensive foul. Francisco Elson picks up his third, a moving screen. I think the officials in the league have done a good job of letting the emotion back in a little bit on that. Nash trying to force it in. And a kick ball is going to be called against Stoudamire. Nash still yelling. Dick Bavetta very close to teeing him up.
If Steve Nash complains, I normally believe him.
A lot of other players, though, may get hit with a tee with that reaction. He's really yelling very demonstratively. Bad pass. Ginobili just, they say he stepped on half court. So a backcourt violation.
I mean, we're sitting right here. This is our view.
And what makes it tough, John, is the Spurs logo. There's a bunch of different colors, and it's tough to distinguish. Kurt Thomas can't get it to fall. Ginobili, stripped by Bell. Boy, guys like Raja Bell and Bruce Bowen, such good defenders. Two guys who weren't drafted, and now first-team All-NBA defense. Stoudamire spinning, tough shot, won't go, and Marion with the tip, and Phoenix regains the lead.
This is as good as it gets right here. I tell you what. 15-game series. I like your idea, Mike.
Parker pulls it back. We can only hope. Shot clock down to 7. Good defense from Bell. Parker left open. Short. Nash tips it out. And Ginobili. It's good.
When they cushion him like that, he's got to shoot the open jump shot. As Nash throws a great lob to Marion that he didn't finish. That jump shot by Ginobili opens up his driving game.
Parker, his driving game gets knocked to the ground. Kurt Thomas, a good, clean, hard foul. So Parker back to the line as he rattles in the first NBA calendar. On Sunday on ABC, might be Game 7 of Phoenix and San Antonio, or Game 1 of the conference finals with San Antonio and Utah, excuse me. Sorry, Jeff, that was definitely a slip of the tongue. Coverage begins at 3. TNT Monday, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Detroit and Cleveland will start things up. And another rebound off a missed free throw for San Antonio. That's the third of the game.
And Jeff Van Gundy has left the building. He's seen enough.
Bowen looks up at the shot clock. Parker spinning in the paint. Oh, Tony Parker with a beautiful move. San Antonio back up by 4. Stoudamire comes right back. How many seconds elapsed off the shot clock?
Feeling that we think, and obviously this is from our viewpoint, that we're better, that we have some talent in some areas that we're better than they are. They have been seasoned and they're champions and they know how to get over the hump. But we showed on game 4 that we can get over the hump, that we can be as mentally tough as they are. Plus, we think we're more talented. And that's, we're going to go into game 6 knowing that we can get this done.
And now their chance to prove it on the floor. It's been a terrific series. As Bowen hits a 3. Bruce Bowen with his first field goal. And San Antonio with their largest lead of the game. In fact, the 5-point advantage largest by either team. Barbosa can't get at the 4.
As good a shooter as Barbosa is, he's not a great pull-up jump shooter. He's a 3-point shooter and he goes at the rim.
Ginobili from downtown. Back-to-back threes. Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan have 62 of the 69 San Antonio points.
And that's why sometimes the talk of offensive balance is overrated. You got to get your 3 best players their best shots and their best spots.
Blocking foul call on Ginobili. And we just had a player agree with the call. That's an important, momentous occasion in this game.
San Antonio in a 3-2 zone on the side out of bounds.
Bowen kicks it with 5 on the shot clock, so that gets reset to 14.
Well, they could run him off some baseline screens, but
nice.
That's where he's at his best.
But Barbosa can't finish. San Antonio. Ironically, the Spurs have had a lot of success against Phoenix by letting Nash be the scorer. That's happened in past playoffs. Here it's just the opposite. They're obviously having success. They're looking to stop him from looking to shoot. Ginobili a 3, way off the mark. And again, as soon as he has the ball, Bowen's right there on him. James Jones off the mark. Ginobili rips down the rebound. That's 9 rebounds for Ginobili.
Phoenix made an adjustment there, went under the pick and roll with Ginobili.
Parker thought he was hit. Barbosa had a quick start. Nash, Stoudamire.
Another block by Duncan.
Parker lost the handle. Stoudamire slow coming up the other end, as is Duncan. They give him credit for that, John. You're right. That's 9 blocks for Tim Duncan.
Here comes the double. No one rotating to Parker.
Ginobili for 3. Manu Ginobili gives them an 11-point lead. Nash throws it away. A 14-2 run.
This is a really dangerous time for Phoenix. They've got to gather themselves right now.
That one's short. And Marion has it. Barbosa left open for 3. Won't go. Another one. A whistle.
He was already out of bounds.
Out of bounds, you're right. Hard to hear the whistle here. Stoudamire trying to plead his case, but to no avail. Stoudamire goes and sits down on the bench. So it's Diaw, Barbosa, Marion, James Jones, and Nash. Mike D'Antoni is going to call timeout. I think what's happening here is that the Suns tried to substitute. And once you come into a game, you have to stay in for at least 1 possession. So now D'Antoni will call a timeout, and that can change. D'Antoni very upset about it.
Phoenix has got to make a stand right here with Nash out of the game. They don't want to go down anymore.
Duncan double. Bowen. And he traveled. That's the 12th turnover for San Antonio.
Great job by Phoenix though to run Bruce Bowen off his spot. A great 3-point shooter as a standstill guy. Ran him off the shot, got to travel.
Bowen now all over Bell. And there's a foul on Elson. Little bump. Bell with a little extra drama falling back, but there was no question there was contact.
And Bruce Bowen just all over Raja Bell there.
Those are the fouls, though, that you have to avoid. Raja Bell stuck. Not a great pick and roll player. Elson, quick feet, overly dramatic on the flop, but gets to the line to break this run. And it's a critical point of the game. A very intelligent play by Raja Bell.
A silly foul going away from the basket. He can't hurt you. He's dribbling towards half court. Let him go. Silly foul, and Francisco Elson's fourth on top of that.
So Bell to the line. Bell, who is a, again, first-team All-NBA defense. Quite a journey for Raja Bell. Remember, he was a fourth-round pick of the CBA, not even the NBA. Wasn't drafted in the NBA. Back in '99 out of Florida International. Didn't play in the NBA for 2 years. Played over at the CBA, the USBL, the IBL, every pro league in America except the NBA. Played in Spain. And now he's one of the top perimeter defenders in the entire league. And finally, a second Spur in double figures. He has 10. Coming up on 2 minutes left here in the third. Duncan double. Jacques Vaughn left open. Hits a shot. Bucket for Jacques Vaughn. With Parker on the bench, those kind of plays are huge.
And Marion's live off of Vaughn right now and double teaming Duncan, so it's imperative that he knock it in.
Bell for three. Big basket from Raja Bell. And it's back to an 8-point game.
If you're Phoenix, don't get overly concerned about Jacques Vaughn knocking one down. That's the guy you want to shoot the basketball. Try it again. Take the ball out of Duncan's hands and see if Vaughn can beat you.
Finley looking for Duncan. Diao is guarding him. Inside to Vaughn. Shuffles it out. Bowen with a two-pointer.
But the adjustment by San Antonio, instead of having Vaughn on the perimeter, they put him on the low block. So when they double, now Vaughn's a cutter, and then he can catch it and make a play like he did to Bruce Bowen.
And Bell traveled. Started his move before he put the ball on the floor. That's the 13th Phoenix turnover. The Phoenix Suns, the #1 scoring team in the NBA this season. Only 15 points here in the third quarter. Coming up on a minute left. Duncan again. Now they're doubling him every time. Vaughn. Bowen for three. It's good. Largest lead of the game.
And again, they put Vaughn on the baseline. Vaughn created a play, and another shot by Bruce Bowen.
Marion blocked by Duncan, but a blocking foul called on Vaughn down below. That would have been Duncan's 10th block, but because of the foul to Vaughn, that's negated, and free throws for Marion. Tim Duncan, another superb performance. 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 blocks. Phoenix will need to hit their free throws to slowly climb back in as they're staring at a 13-point deficit.
Well, Jeff, that's a great call. They put Jacques Vaughn on the bottom. Now Leandro Barbosa has 2 men to guard. He has to respect Jacques Vaughn because he's under the basket. He's going to make a layup. Now Barbosa's right in the middle here. He has to come over, and Bruce Bowen wide open in the corner. 2 straight times. Bad defense by Phoenix.
Well, and it's also good coaching by Greg Popovich. He puts Vaughn out there with 3 other three-point shooters instead of another big guy where you could really zone the lane. So now Jacques Vaughn's the cutter. He's where a big guy would normally be, and he could be the playmaker.
Finley for 3. And Barbosa the rebound. Third quarter, winding down. Barbosa a 3. Way off, not even close. Here comes Ginobili, and they'll hold it for the final shot of the period. What has been a huge third quarter for the San Antonio Spurs.
Critical stop right here. Got to keep it at 12.
Vaughn again. Puts it in. Jacques Vaughn. And the Spurs lead by 14. Bell, that won't count. third quarter, Phoenix took a 1-point lead. What's the key? What's the key for the turnaround?
Well, defense. San Antonio is without question the best defensive team in the league, and they showed it again there in that critical third quarter.
Diaw can't finish, but Stoudamire can on the second effort. Stoudamire with 25.
No Tim Duncan. Going to go through Manu Ginobili here offensively.
Vaughn, not that time. Ball tipped and taken by Barbosa.
Great job by Barbosa. You call that an engaged rebound. Nice job filling in and helping out the big.
Diaw posting up Vaughn. Big advantage and an offensive foul called on Diaw. Pushing off on Jack Vaughn, and Mike D'Antoni can't believe it.
And right now, Phoenix has a decided advantage inside. Stoudamire against Oberto, Diaw against a smaller four-man in Finley, or whoever they're going to decide to put on him. Critical time for Phoenix to make a quick run. And they have great spurtability. They can get back in it very quickly.
I like that word, spurtability.
Well, if any team can do it in this NBA, it's the Phoenix Suns to be down 12 with 11 to go in a deciding game.
Ginobili backs it in, high off the glass. Ginobili having his second straight superb performance.
26 in game 4, 24 in game 5.
Barbosa fouled.
What's he going to finish with tonight? He's been absolutely sensational.
Let's send it over to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, just before the quarter began, Mike D'Antoni told the Suns, keep working, keep working. They made a lot of shots. They're going to miss some. We'll start making them again. Keep the faith. He saw some long faces on his players, and he emphasized, hey, we're okay. Let's go right now. Let's get right back in it. And then he said again, keep working, keep working. They've got their work cut out for them, Mike.
And they've got to hit free throws. As Barbosa misses that one. Reminder, if this series between the Suns and Spurs goes to a Game 7, you can win free tickets to watch it live. Log on to NBA.com to register for the NBA Game 7 ticket giveaway.
Again, Leandro Barbosa struggling in the half court against the Spurs defense. Just 3 of 10, 9 points now. A great open court player who killed the LA Lakers because they're not a good defensive team. He's learning something in this series.
You can pretty much insert anyone's name in and have struggling against the Spurs defense.
Right.
Parker. Finley off the dribble, trying to draw a foul. Alberto on the drive. Ginobili steps back, hits a three, and a foul. Manu Ginobili with a chance for a 4-point play. And the lead is ballooned to 16.
All set up by dribble penetration from Fabricio Oberto. I mean, inexcusable for Amare Stoudamire to let Fabricio Oberto go by him.
You've got to be able to contain that by yourself, and I would say make Oberto finish at the rim.
Here comes Bell, 1-on-3, and just barrels right in the barrel. Nowhere to go. And an offensive foul on Raja Bell. Not a smart decision.
Absolutely frustration. Raja Bell upset about the call on the 4-point play, and that time just barreling over Brent Berry.
There's 1-on-3.
Now that's a charge. These are charges I'd like to see called. That's where you have courage. You're taking a full-on hit. Tremendous play in transition against Raja Bell.
4 fouls on Bell. Still 10:25 remaining here on the court, so plenty of time. But San Antonio right now in complete control of this game. Parker puts it in. 18-point lead. Bowen just harassing Nash. Stoudamire able to knock it down. Stoudamire, the one Phoenix Sun, able to score. He's got 27.
But they've taken and eliminated the other parts of Phoenix's offense. Barbosa, the three, Marion on the cut. It's just Stoudamire. They've reduced them to Stoudamire in the paint or shooting jump shots.
28 for Parker. Nash gets it inside. Stoudamire can't hit.
Well, Jeff, it doesn't matter what they do on the offensive end. They can't stop the Spurs. And if they can't stop them, it doesn't matter how many points they score. The Spurs are putting on a clinic on both ends of the floor right now.
We are watching a great performance from a great basketball team. Parker, an air ball. Somebody's human. Bowen can't hit. And Ginobili, another rebound, and flips it right back up and in. It's a 20-point game. Nash. Stoudamire across the lane. We didn't think we'd hear this tonight, but San Antonio is blowing out Phoenix. Ginobili dribbled it off his foot. Bell trying to draw some contact. And again, Bowen right on Nash. Nash for three, and that's his first bucket since the first quarter.
The first basket of the game, I believe.
He scored early, and now just his second field goal, and San Antonio calls timeout. But there are 29 other head coaches that would love to have him on their team. Finley rattles it in.
And a few ex-coaches, too, might want to have him.
Nash to the basket. Left-handed banks it in. Now Phoenix needs to get some stops.
Those have been few and far between for Steve Nash in this series. A clear path to the basket.
Parker. And the Spurs wisely taking time off the clock. Parker spinning inside, blocked by Marion. Nash looking to push. For three, puts it in. Steve Nash drills it, and it's back to 14 with still 7:20 to play.
Don't turn off the runs within 14. 7 minutes to go, plenty of time.
A desperate team trying to keep their season alive. Parker. Bowen will try another three. Not that time, and Marion tips it. Phoenix showing some real heart here as Bell struggling with his dribble. Nash poked away from behind, and then a foul called on Nash as he battles into Duncan. Duncan says to Nash says, "Don't call it on me," but it is definitely against Nash.
Play on. Play on.
Well, he just knocks him over, though.
Loose ball. Anything goes, Mike.
Well, I don't think he was talking about that play. I think he realized he did foul. He was talking about Bruce Bowen. I saw him talking to Tom Washington right here, just saying he's been hacking me all night. Why can't I get a call?
That Bowen play, that time he gets past him and Bowen knocks it away from behind.
Bowen has exceptionally long arms and an unusual sense of timing on how to deflect the ball.
Parker sees an opening. Bowen on the floater. Oh, Duncan goes down hard. James Jones quickly checks to make sure he's okay, as does Stoudamire. Good sportsmanship from both. The foul is against Phoenix. It's against James Jones, his first. That's a dangerous play. Jones sure didn't.
Just a late block out there, Mike. I don't think there was any intent to hurt. Duncan had left his feet as James Jones was trying to come in and box him out.
Ginobili fakes a three. Duncan to the basket. Tim Duncan, 22 points. And a lead back to 16. Nash falling back. And suddenly Steve Nash finding the scoring. He has the last 10 points for Phoenix.
An incredibly difficult shot. Stepping back on your left foot with the right hand shot, and Bowen with his length right on that shooting hand. Tremendous shot.
He practices that. Says that's why for him it's a high percentage shot. Parker with a hand in his face. Won't go. And Marion saves it, but right to Duncan. Parker out to Bowen. Bowen the three. And Stoudamire the rebound. Suns still believing they can come back.
Quick shot there by Bruce Bowen. Thought he should have pulled that out.
Oh, Stoudamire and a foul. Wow. Nip and tuck in the first half, so close. Then the Spurs put on a clinic defensively, especially in the second half. Just when you think it's over, you see some real grit and heart from these Phoenix Suns, guys.
They can score quickly. They can score in bunches. And, hey, they're in the game. They make this free throw down 11, 5.5 to go. They're in the game.
Steve Nash is not a two-time MVP for nothing. And he scored the last 10 while Stoudamire got the last 2. But he's not going to quit. 5 minutes to go is a ton of time for the Phoenix Suns. We know about their offensive potency. We're going to have to see it now, but they're going to have to get it done on this end.
They've missed some free throws here in the fourth quarter. And every point huge right now for Phoenix. They want to get it to Duncan. And Finley then hits a three-pointer. Michael Finley from way downtown. Nash to the basket. And a foul.
Before the shot?
Are they caught? No.
Before the shot, I think, Mike.
No continuation. So they'll take it out of bounds for San Antonio. That's only their second team foul. And second on Bowen.
And Mike D'Antoni saying to himself, oh, you're going to call it now.
Nash gets inside. Dangerous pass. Nash to the basket. Gets it to Marion. Marion misses, but the second effort. Well, that is great athleticism.
And I thought Nash on both dribble drives had chances to score. I think he's got to really look to score right now. They're not really coming to him right now. They're playing it for the pass.
Spurs trying to take time off the clock. Ginobili spinning. Parker in the paint. Shot clock down to 4. Finley back to Parker. Parker a three. Won't go. And here comes Barbosa. Barbosa quickly to the basket. Up and under and flips it in. And this is the closest they've been in the fourth quarter.
You talk about change direction? That was change a county. That was unbelievable.
Under 4 minutes remaining. Finley, a three. Again off the mark. Nash puts up a three. Knocks it down. His foot on the line. A two-pointer. His foot just on the line, but it's a 9-point game. What a turnaround here for Phoenix. Getting a little anxious.
Steve Nash noticing that Bruce Bowen fell down, pulls up for the three. And we got a game.
Duncan. And a jump ball on the double team. Mike D'Antoni beside himself.
It's just got to calm down and enjoy the game. It's a great series. What is wrong with these coaches?
So they'll jump at the Spurs free throw line circle with 10 on the shot clock. So if San Antonio wins the tip, that's how much time they have left to shoot. 3:23 left in the game.
And everybody goes illegal on these jump balls, cutting through the lane before it's tapped, stealing it on the way up, like Duncan just did.
And then Barbosa fouls Finley. That's the 4th team foul on Phoenix, so San Antonio will inbound. Mike D'Antoni wants a timeout. So Nash finally erupting. Is it matter, Jeff, if he's looking for a shot more in the fourth, or is the defense a little different?
Well, I thought San Antonio, when they got the 18-point lead, their intensity dropped for 1 or 2 possessions, which he got good looks on. And again, he's like any other player. You feel better when you see the ball go in the hoop.
Ginobili. Duncan. Turnaround. Aaron may have gotten a piece of it. Looked like he got a piece of Duncan's arm. Nash looking for an opening. Barbosa for three. Won't go. Stoudamire tries to keep it alive, and it's San Antonio ball. Barbosa had a great look, and it wouldn't fall.
Again, he's had a couple wide open looks tonight from the three-point line.
He's 0 for 4 from the three-point line. He's missed his last 11 over the past 4 games.
That's just a shot you got to make in Game 6 in the semifinals.
That's the shot he's been making all season and in the first round of the playoffs. Parker won't go.
And they're getting the stops.
And it's still Phoenix ball. 2:37 remaining.
And this is what you call not giving up on a play. Manu Ginobili, Leandro Barbosa, the quickest guy in the league. Ginobili says, you're not getting to the paint. Runs him down. Great play.
That's just sheer effort. Barbosa inside, puts it in. And it's a 7-point game with 2.5. Not over yet. A 20-7 run for Phoenix.
Phoenix has made an adjustment. They're trapping Ginobili on the pick and roll.
Ginobili out to Parker. Finley. Parker, that's a 2. Knocks it down. Big bucket for Tony Parker. That's inside. Stoudamire hit hard. And he'll go to the line as Ginobili commits the foul. Phoenix loving being able to score now with the clock stopped.
A great unselfish play by Michael Finley out there. That time, Steve Nash almost losing the basketball, able to recover and put it right to Stoudamire on time, on target. But a great play on the other end. Michael Finley had a three-point shot, gave it up, hit Tony Parker, who was wide open, and we know he's a good mid-range shooter.
Stoudamire, 7 of 8 from the line. He is much improved. That's one of his areas he really worked on while he rehabbed his knee, become a better free throw shooter. And he came through on it, shooting a career-high 78% this season. Two big free throws there, and it's back to a 7-point game. Ginobili wants the ball in his hands. And a reach-in foul call on Raja Bell.
And the penalty, that is just a silly foul. That's just inexcusable, Coach.
That is inexcusable. Roger Bell, you have to know penalty situation. You can't be as aggressive in the penalty. Make Ginobili make a play. They've been getting the stops to put him at the free throw line to finish off this game. You know, obviously, it's not what they want.
And this is a guy in Ginobili who's shooting 91% from the line in the playoffs. Hit big free throws down the stretch of Game 5. Knocks down 2 there.
He might not have been the 6th man of the year, but he's the 6th man of this series.
Nash to Stoudamire in for the slam. 7-point game with 1:46 remaining. The Suns desperately trying to keep their season alive.
Well, now that is what the Spurs want to give up. They don't care about Amare Stoudamire rolling down the middle of the lane. No three-pointers, especially at this stage.
Ginobili out to Parker. Parker looking, gets it to Duncan. Duncan turns and rolls in. Tim Duncan with a big bucket, and it's back to 9. Nash inside. Knocked away by Finley in a steal. And the Suns perhaps running out of time. The crowd here starting to celebrate. Duncan, Parker. Final minute. Nash. Barbosa for 3. Marrying the rebound. Nash for 3. That's good. Nash again. And that makes it 105-99, a 2-possession game. And there's the foul. And the Spurs putting right now their best free throw shooter at the line as Raja Bell has fouled out of the game. Was that too early to foul?
A 2-possession game, yes, you do need a foul, but you don't foul Ginobili. Somebody come, take it out of his hands, double team him, and foul any other player on the floor, not Manu Ginobili.
Well, they have 3 weak free throw shooters out there, and Duncan, Bowen, and Parker. So really all you have to do is trap Ginobili or Finley, make the ball go to the one of the other three, and then foul them.
Absolutely. You could have took a little more time off the clock. It's still a two-possession game.
Oh, Ginobili in and out.
As I said, foul Ginobili.
There you see Ginobili with a huge game. He was enormous in Game 5 and has been even better here in Game 6. 1 of 2 from the line. 7-point game. Suns still have multiple timeouts. Barbosa on the drive. Up. Won't go. Murray in the slam. 106-101, a 5-point game.
No foul.
And Barbosa makes sure everything's okay as he commits the foul, and Ginobili will go back to the line again.
Right there, you have to double-team manage Ginobili. You cannot let him get the basketball. James Jones standing over there with Michael Finley. Come over and make him throw it to somebody else.
Not easy to do.
No, it's
especially
tough.
Ginobili's so crafty at getting open.
Yeah, Ginobili, obviously great, but if 2 guys are on him, a front and back side of him, don't let him get the basketball.
Well, it's quite simple. If the Spurs hit their free throws, they'll win this game. If they miss, the door left slightly ajar for Phoenix.
Well, I think it's time that you have to get 3 now. If he makes this and you go to 7-point lead, you've got to get a 3-point shot.
32 points and 11 rebounds, make it 33-11 for Ginobili. Nash looking. Marion on the drive. Lost the ball, picked up by Ginobili. Ahead to Bowen. And the Spurs are going to the conference finals.
Since Reggie Miller scored, what was that, 8 against the Knicks? They need that type of finish. And right here, they're going to bring Nash off as a decoy. And don't be surprised if you don't see Marion get the 3-point attempt.
They get it out to Stoudamire, looking for a 3-pointer. Instead goes to the basket, lays it in. And that cuts it to 7 with 13.1 remaining. Duncan's going to call timeout. Good ball denial from Phoenix. As they just will not go away. They will fight until the final buzzer.
I hate for this series to end. I mean, this has been some unbelievable basketball. Phoenix Suns not giving up today. Down 20 late here in the 4th quarter. And just 2 great teams going at it. I think San Antonio is so great defensively. What they've been able to do with Steve Nash has been remarkable to me.
Well, you look at the regular season, Dallas and Phoenix had magical regular seasons. And they were the talk. They were the new flavor, the new kid on the block that everybody talked about, possible winning a championship. But it's those old veterans, the oldest team in the league in average age, the team with the most playoff experience in the Western Conference. And San Antonio putting on, as John said, a clinic defensively.
Boring consistency. That's what they bring every night. They know their game as well as any team in the league at both ends of the floor. They don't deviate. They do what they are coached to do nightly. And that discipline carries over in those tough moments. And I don't think Greg Popovich, because he's not a self-promoter, he does not get the credit, even with all the championships, even with all the wins, that he deserves.
Suns going to try with ball denial. They get it to Finley. And Finley quickly fouled with 11.3 remaining.
You know what? This is the worst time of the year when you're on the Phoenix Suns right now. You know you're going to get beat. You know your season's over. All the time you put in back in October, training camp, working out in the summer, 61 wins for this team. You thought you had a championship level team. I know we talked about the suspensions, and obviously they're going to think about that in the summertime. But just an awful time if you're a Phoenix Sun right now. The worst time to be an NBA player on a losing team.
And that's what will be the Western Conference Final. As Finley hits the free throw. They split their 4 games. Utah playing so well. Amare Stoudemire coming back after the suspension. Had a terrific game with 35 points, 12 rebounds. Steve Nash lighting it up in the 4th. But the Phoenix Suns will fall short here on the road. As a former Phoenix Sun, Michael Finley knocks down a couple. The Suns will use their final timeout as San Antonio leads by 9.
they may have just come together at the wrong time with San Antonio still being a dynasty.
So close, though, once again. Barbosa, Stoudamire attempts a three, and he puts it in. A three-point for Stoudamire. That makes it a two-possession game, and then quickly a foul. How about Amare Stoudamire knocking down the three, his first three-point make of the season. Obviously, he doesn't take many. He only took three.
Wanted them to.
You can't take away everything, but you got to take away something. And the Spurs are committed. Take away layups, take away threes. We'll live with the contested two-point jump shot.
Fourth quarter free throws, very big for San Antonio. Tim Duncan gets a standing ovation. 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 block shots. And many, many authored shots as well. And Michael Finley, who signed with San Antonio in hopes of winning a championship, hitting some big free throws. And Nash will just bring it up. The San Antonio Spurs will face the Utah Jazz in the conference finals. And the Suns' season comes to a